Yeah, so actually taking the session forward, I'd like to give a quick introduction of Raghav sir. So we have with us Mr. Raghav Avari, who has 25 years of experience in human resource management. He is currently in the capacity of head human resource with Fractal Enterprises LLP, and sir has also worked with global organizations such as IBM, Deloitte in several capacities. His wealth of experience. Expertise has helped transform organizations in the area of human resources, and now I request sir to take forward and discuss on the topic of what the future of the workplace would be like post the COVID-19 world. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. So I actually chose this topic amongst many topics that were, brought to my notice. Well, there were so many topics, right? I mean, managing in the COVID scenario, and how to manage organizations in a pandemic scenario. I saw so many of that, and I thought there's so much of pessimism surrounding all of that. So I thought I will add my positive input here and bring in some cheer to all of you, and also flag off certain things that you need to know, and keep yourselves prepared for, right? And I thought future of the workplace is a very important topic for all of us. I mean, not just you. It is also very important for us, for me as an HR professional, for my organization, for the industry, right? And what are the 5 big topics that come to your mind when you talk about the future of the workplace? What is really important and what these organizations provide for you is creating psychological safety. And this is a huge topic that is being currently researched by UN Harvard. But from an organization perspective, this is what we are also targeting in our organization, and this is a big priority. In fact, there's a study done by Google for the last 4 years, and this has become a huge input in making excellent teams in terms of performance. So creating psychological safety as an input for creating high performing teams. Now, the other aspect is all of us have become part of a globalized world, and it doesn't matter where our location is geographically, what is our currency, what language do we speak. All of this have started mattering less, and skills have become the new currency, right? And that's what is mattering to organizations. We also have to be responding to the world and to competition. And the only way we can be ahead of competition is by being alert and aware and connected. I think the challenge that organizations are going to have in the future of the workplace is going to be that it's going to be a mix of 5 generations of people working together. It's going to be the traditionalists, Gen X, Gen Y, millennials, digital natives, whatever you want to call them, right? But the fact is that it's going to be a multi-generational workforce. All of this should tell you that, the first thing that comes to your mind when we talk about future of the workplace is real estate downsizing, right? And that is just not even 1/5 of the total. So when you look at the future of the workplace, please take a step back and look at it from a much, much more broader perspective, right? Please expand your horizons in terms of your knowledge, so that tomorrow, if you're asked a question in an interview saying, what do you think is the future of the workplace? And as an HR professional, what are the changes you're going to be facing? It is not just about real estate downsizing. It's a lot more than that. It also includes changes in the compensation structure that's going to happen, and eligibilities are going to change. Expectations are going to change. You're going to be carrying your work in your pocket. What does that mean? You'll be expected to work 24/7. Not that we've not done it before, but the expectation is more now because we are technology enabled. So the future of the workplace is about being knowledge intensive. I did mention skill being the new currency. And change can be driven only by knowledge. Only when you upgrade yourself, only when you upskill yourself consistently, constantly, will you be able to stay ahead of what's happening in the world, right? And today, we are all very fortunate to have technology at our disposal. We are very fortunate to have very easy access to information. But you'll have to be able to decipher, you'll have to be able to adjust, you'll have to be able to align and make it happen, right? But one of the biggest things beyond taking a broader perspective is that there is high pressure to do more with less. So one of the things that you should definitely learn if you're an HR professional is automation, right? And and this is the only way, you'll also know what is happening. And all of these are here to stay. So I cannot give you an assurance that this is not going to, impact us in any way. It is going to impact us. You'll have to stay tuned and you have to learn some of these skills and keep yourself ahead of your competition. And that's the only way out. And the Indian workplace has reached a very mature stage in all of these areas. How can organizations do? What can organizations do to create good remote work culture? See, I think the tech enablement is the answer to this, Hari Shankar. So what organizations are doing to create a good remote work culture is to not monitor, hours and all that stuff, right? And that's one of the best practices that companies are doing. Not just us, many organizations are doing that and helping creating that great culture of productivity and keeping people happy. I think nothing beats the third and most important point is nothing beats good quality work being given to people. Yeah,
So I have a question regarding the interviews only.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so I would like to ask you, what are the salient aspects you consider which is critical to crack remote interviews in today's times, and what aspect one should be prepared with apart from the usual subject matter,
Right.
especially for remote interviews?
Got it. Great question. Thank you so much for that. So one of the things is the competitive landscape of the organization you're getting interviewed with, right? I was mentioning that previously. Let me reiterate that. Secondly, your own perspective, which should not be myopic to the job description that has been shared with you, right? You have to take it on an end-to-end basis. Please look at it from a broader perspective and deduct it and make it focused on the job description that has been shared with you. If you're answering a question like, hey, why should we take you and not someone else into the job, right? And that's a question that many of the interviewers will have in their mind. What you have to talk about is the fact that you understand things better than the others, right? And how can you do that unless you read and learn and publish and research and get to understand that organization better with the information available online? You have to be very competitive in your approach to this. Be highly competitive, be as informed as you could get before the interview about the role, about the organization, about the individual interviewing you.
Thank you so much, Raghu. I think you have shared the crux of your experience in short 1 hour, and I'm sure we can actually continue more with the kind of enthusiasm which our boys also have shown in terms of getting you with questions.